Hey everyone, we're here with Allison and Allison's daughter. She's 15 months old and she has seizures. And we're 6 weeks into care and she's doing very well. She's responded extremely well, faster than what I expected. And so we want to bring Allison on just to help share her daughter's story and what we're doing and and how it's helping. So Allison, thank you for coming on. And why don't you tell everybody a little history and then how your daughter is doing? And I will say this, when we first started talking and communicating, your daughter was 11 months old, and I thought she was 11 years old. And you're like, I don't want any more blood work. And I'm like, why wouldn't you want more blood work? I don't understand. And then finally, you got it through my head. She's 11 months, not 11 years. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's sometimes I'm too busy for my own good. That's the problem. So take it away, and just let everybody know.
Yeah, so she started having seizures around 4 months old. They first just kind of chalked it up, said it was a bruit, just a brief unexplained event is what they called it at the hospital.
Yeah,
Um, Kind of fast forward into a couple months later, she had another one. Every single one of her seizures were first associated with an illness. Um,
yeah,
and she would have one like one every 3, 4 months until about, I would say, November or October of last year. And then she
mhm,
started having, one tonic clonic every month,
right.
really big seizures. From those, from
Oh, and
that,
just let me stop you there. Tell everyone, because there may be some people listening and their child just had a seizure. What is a tonic clonic type of seizure? Just so everyone understands.
yeah, so tonic clonic is just like arms, legs moving, kind of in a rhythmic
Yep. Yep.
movement, um,
Yes. And
unconscious,
yep.
basically. Their eyes are open, but they're not responsive to you.
Right. The lights are on, but nobody's home. So got it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and a lot
Yeah.
of her seizures, well, two of them were status. They would call status epilepticus, which means
Right.
that they couldn't pull her out of any kind of rescue med. Couldn't
Yeah.
she wouldn't respond to,
Right.
and this was all while being on medication.
Right.
Um, to
And what was the first medication they put her on?
Keppra,
Yep.
yeah.
And then they added a second one when the Keppra wasn't working, correct?
Yes, yeah, in October of last year, they added on fee. Well, actually, they
Okay.
added on Vimpat, and then Vimpat didn't work, so then
Right.
they put her on fee. So currently, she was put on the two to help her, but they
And
aren't
and
helping
and
her.
one of the questions you posed to me when you first contacted me was, what about the genetic component? They said she has a genetic disposition. This is why she's having the problem. To which I responded, and they're not telling anybody, genes can be deactivated if you remove underlying toxins and infections. So they brush it off as genetic, and your child will always have to be on these meds. And I say you can make the changes. So anyway, continue. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. Yeah, and then I mean, they said it was because of her genetics. Is she didn't get it from her dad or I. It was a new gene mutation that she got.
Um,
She had,
yeah,
that was causing all of this.
right,
Um, and then I would say in about November, she started having probably 5 to 10 like jerks. She would do these random jerks, and then she'd have these drop seizures, which were super quick. Honestly, you wouldn't be able to tell unless you know your kid, like
right,
your kid normal behavior. I would say
right,
she'd just kind of just be standing there and would drop, and she'd come back up and be fine. So it'd be like 1 to 2 seconds, but they were happening up to 10 times a day. Um,
right.
Super hard to function at all.
Right. Yeah, especially at 10 times a day. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
And I was just looking back at our notes just from starting treatment, and
yeah,
it was 2 weeks in, she started having no drops and no jerks at all. Two
yeah.
weeks.
Well, as I mentioned to you on a few occasions, she's responded a lot faster than what I expected, which is a great thing. I mean, I'd rather have that than a lot slower.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. So, go ahead. We'll keep moving forward.
Yeah, and I mean now she's had a couple of seizures, some that we were able to bring her out of.
Yeah,
Um, and overall though, she's not having any interruptions to her daily life.
right,
Um, Not huge setbacks anymore that put us in a hospital for days.
right. Yeah.
She's making all her developmental milestones, which is amazing.
Yeah, and we're
Um,
what we're doing, so everyone knows, is we're clearing underlying toxins and infections. We're using homeopathic remedies, and in your case, normally I give a new homeopathic remedy every week, but we might change that up every few days. It just depends. I'm checking her daily just to make sure. We're also using red light. We've just incorporated the magnets. We'll eventually use some neurological exercise. She's not there yet. So it's like you stair step up the ladder. And that's the important thing. And the key is, and we're gonna monitor her progress as we go along. So maybe in a month or two, maybe probably a couple months, we'll redo another video and see where she's at then. Now, there was an incident. She was doing really well and she's running around and she fell on your fireplace and bumped her head.
yep.
And that's when I made my threshold video, which I think it's important for everyone out there with children with seizures, with anyone with seizures, to realize and watch that video that when you have seizure disorder, your neurons are very unstable and you're very close to threshold. So it doesn't take a lot to put it over the threshold. And then we got her out of that. And even though she had to go to the hospital with that one, and it was rather scary, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it was, but then we've also noticed, and this is interesting, even with my granddaughter, that dairy seems to bother her and you're nursing her.
Yeah.
So it can affect the child. My own granddaughter, who's 4 months old, was having eczema until my daughter stopped eating dairy, and now she doesn't have any more eczema. So, for those parents listening to this who are nursing and their child is 7 months or 10 months and they're having seizure, be aware of what you're consuming, what you're eating, because that can have an effect. So
Yeah,
good.
definitely. Yeah, we're gluten free and dairy free.
Which is very important. It really is. So you have some other interesting news. What about your nonprofit that you're putting together? Tell everyone about that, please.
Yeah, so obviously this has been a huge life journey, as I would say, since she's been born,
Right.
and has really impacted us. And just the treatment we've had with you has really impacted us to want to help other families keep their kids seizure free and get them
Right.
on the journey of being seizure free. And we
Sure.
decided to start a nonprofit that we're hoping to launch as soon as possible once kind of we get through all the paperwork of it.
Sure.
It's going to be called Blooming into Opportunities.
Oh, nice.
And yeah,
Wonderful.
we're going to help other families whose kiddos suffer from seizures, disorders. And
Nice.
yeah,
Well, and,
we're
and
really
then
excited.
once you have all of that set up, I'll put some videos out on my TikTok also because I think it's important. It's helping other people, and that's
Yeah,
really what it's all about. And you guys have been through it, so and you've been through some very, I think the word might be traumatizing, traumatizing situations with your daughter, and what's happened, and going to the hospital and ambulances and airlifting and all that other stuff. So it's a lot, but that's how you're able to help other people is when you've actually experienced it. And the main thing
absolutely.
is she's getting better. That's what counts. So anything you want to say in closing?
I really appreciate the individualized care. You checking up on us and just always making sure how we're feeling, how her progress
Right.
is. It
Yeah. Well,
really,
good.
it really means a lot coming from someone who, is
Right.
going through it, and it's an emotional
Yeah.
journey. So it's nice to
Oh,
have
it is.
someone.
Yeah, it's definitely very emotional. It's tough to see your child suffer. It really is. And then you're helpless. So, well, good. Thank you for being
Yeah,
on this call. We appreciate it. And
absolutely.
we'll check in a couple months and see how she's doing then.
Awesome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Great.